Hi, I am Debra R. Richardson of Debra R. Richardson LLC, and I work with you to help you clean up your vendor data, clean up your vendor processes, and pay the right vendor. Now, this week's Vendor Master File tip of the week is resolving two 1099 MISC and 1099 NEC e-filing issues, your options per the IRS. Now, these issues are coming from two emails sent to those that have an e-news alert subscription with the IRS. And if you are not receiving those emails, the next video after this one will show you how to sign up. Now, I also have a bonus of an option you have if you can't get the 1099s to the vendors in time. And that is taken from an IRS publication. Now, I do want to state first a disclaimer that I am not a tax professional. This is not tax advice, so please consult a tax professional. That disclaimer is on each of the slides that I have here today. Now, here are the due dates for the 1099 MISC and the 1099 NEC. And for the 1099 NEC, the forms to the vendors, and whether you are filing electronically or by paper, the filing to the IRS, all of those are due January 31st. Now, for the 1099 MISC, the forms to the vendors are due January 31st, unless you are only reporting boxes 8 and 10. Those are due Thursday, February 15th. Now, for filing to the IRS, if you are filing by paper, that filing is due February 28th. But if you are e-filing, it is due April 1st. And that's because March 31st is on a Sunday. Now, new this year, e-filing is required when filing 10 or more aggregate forms. And that is a reduction from the prior 250 of any type of form required e-filing. And so this year, because of that reduction, many of you are e-filing for the first time. All right, so let's start with the first of those emails, and the first one is on the FIRE system. That is one of the two e-filing options that the IRS has. And I do want to just point out that the FIRE TCC is a different format than the IRIS TCC, and that's the other option for e-filing. The FIRE TCC is 5 alphanumeric characters, and it does start with a numeric character. Now, or with a numeric. Now, the password PIN issues is the first issue I want to talk about that the IRS gives you an option for. They know that there are issues out there, so if there are issues where you cannot reset your password or your PIN and you can't reach the IRS, which most can't, then you can create a new FIRE account per the IRS. I've never had to do that, but the IRS does indicate it is an option. Now, the second issue is the TCC. If you do not have a TCC in time or cannot e-file before the due date, here are your options. So the first one is you can use a third-party provider to enter or upload your data and e-file with the IRS, and maybe even distribute the forms to your vendor. Now, the second option is for the 1099 MISC and other 1099s, but we're only talking about the 1099 MISC and 1099 NEC in this video. But for more time to e-file the 1099 MISC, you can submit a request for an extension using the FIRE system. You don't need a TCC for that. For more time to e-file the 1099 NEC, you have to use the paper form 8809. For both of the extensions, you do get an automatic 30 days, but for the 1099 MISC, you have the option of reapplying for an additional 30 days. You do not have that option with the 1099 NEC. Now, lastly, you have an option to submit a waiver, Form 8508, so you do not have to e-file. That might be an option for those of you, again, who will be e-filing for the first time due to the reduction in the forms number, or the number of forms requiring e-filing, from 250 to 10. All right, so this is the next email that I received, it is on the second option for e-filing that the IRS provides, the Iris system. Now, I do want to just point out here again that the TCC is different. With the Iris system, the TCC starts with a D. Now, the other options here, they don't offer or didn't indicate that there are any password or PIN number issues, but they did offer up the same options for those that don't think you're going to have the TCC in time. You have the same options that you had with the that the IRS outlined in the fire email, so I'm not going to repeat them here. Now, the bonus is, what if you just can't get the 1099 forms out to the vendors, which, if you remember, the due date for all is January 31st, the 1099 NEC, 1099 MISC, unless you're reporting boxes 8 or 10 to the vendors on the 1099 MISC, then that due date is February 15th. But if you can't make those dates to the vendors when it's required, then you do have the option of submitting a request for an extension to furnish those to the vendors, and there's no form for that. You would send a request via fax, and on that request you just need to make sure that you have the items required on that request that's listed in this paragraph. Now, this screenshot excerpt is taken from the 2023 General Instructions for Certain Information Returns, page 18, and I will put a link to that document in the description. All right, so if you'd like more information on how to improve your vendor process, please go to my website, debrarrichardson.com, for free tools and resources to avoid fraud, regulatory fines, and bad vendor data. And if you'd like over 115 annual hours of training for your vendor team, check out the Vendor Process Training Center at training.debrarrichardson.com. So good luck, and be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to be notified next Tuesday for the next Vendor Master File tip of the week.